Welcome back to Cat Fact Class, the place where every story reveals the secret world of felines and the hidden love they give us every day. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe because today's story is going to touch your heart in the most unexpected way. Prepare yourself for an emotional and eye-opening journey. This is the powerful story behind the title If Your Cat Takes Your Seat. They're trying to tell you this. The story begins on a quiet evening when I returned home after a long day filled with endless tasks, pressure, and noise. My life had become a routine of rushing from one thing to another. Work had consumed my energy, my peace, and most of my happiness. I barely noticed anything outside of my own tired mind. But someone else had noticed. Someone small, someone silent. Someone who loved me more than I had realized. That someone was Milo, my orange tabby cat who entered my life at a time when nothing seemed stable. When I first adopted Milo, he was shy and cautious. He preferred distance. He watched me from across the room and would only approach when he heard the sound of food. He was gentle but reserved, and I understood that trust takes time. We shared a space, but not a bond. Not yet. One particular night, everything felt heavier than usual. My head throbbed. My shoulders ached. All I wanted was to collapse into the couch and forget about the world. I dropped my bag to the floor, barely removed my shoes, and stepped into the living room with a sigh that seemed to come from somewhere deep inside my soul. I moved toward the couch, ready to sit down and disappear for a moment. But Milo moved before I did. In a quick, surprisingly graceful motion, he leaped onto the couch and settled himself right in the exact spot where I always sat. He curled his paws neatly under himself and looked at me with big glowing eyes full of something I couldn't name at that moment. I forced a tired laugh and said, "Well, looks like you beat me to it." But Milo did not move. He did not blink. He simply held my gaze with a calm but firm expression, something far different from his usual shy manner. I stood there staring at him, feeling oddly frozen. Something was different. Something about his behavior felt deliberate. I shrugged it off and sat at the edge of the cushion instead. But even as I rested, Milo kept looking at me in that steady, quiet way. It felt like he was observing me, studying me, trying to read something in my face. I had no idea yet that he was actually trying to tell me something important. Over the next few days, Milo began a new habit. Each time I came near the couch, he would hurry ahead of me and claim my seat first. It became so consistent that I started joking about him being possessive. But it wasn't a joke. I just didn't know how to listen. Life became busier. Work deadlines grew harsher. My mind felt foggy all the time, like I was walking through a storm without an umbrella. My motivation slipped. My joy dulled. I ignored messages from friends. I ate almost nothing but quick snacks. And through it all, Milo kept stealing my spot every single time. He watched me more. He followed me silently around the house. He sat beside me instead of across the room. But I kept missing the message. One Friday evening, everything reached a breaking point. I came home feeling like a shell of myself. My chest felt tight. My thoughts felt scattered. I sat down on the floor in front of the couch, too drained to even stand up. I leaned my back against the cushion and closed my eyes, wishing the world would stop spinning. Suddenly, I felt a gentle weight settle against my shoulder. I opened my eyes to see Milo pressing himself against me, purring softly. He nudged his head under my hand, lifting it as if telling me to touch him, to feel something other than my own exhaustion. His eyes were warm, patient, and filled with something that pierced straight through the numbness I had been drowning in. Without thinking, I pulled him closer, and for the first time in months, tears began to spill down my cheeks. Not loud sobs, just quiet, steady tears that had been waiting too long to fall. Milo didn't move away. He didn't hesitate. He climbed into my lap, rested his chin on my chest, and purred with a deep, gentle rhythm that felt like a heartbeat outside my own. In that moment of stillness, as I held him and cried into his fur, something clicked inside me. Milo had been trying to get my attention. He had been taking my seat because he sensed something was wrong. He noticed the stress before I did. He felt the weight I carried. He understood that I needed comfort, even though I didn't admit it to myself. Milo didn't take my seat to be bossy. He took it because he wanted me to stop, to pause, to breathe. He wanted me to sit with him so he could help me feel grounded again. That night became a turning point. The next morning, I woke up feeling a little lighter. I opened the curtains. I cooked a proper breakfast. I even turned on a music playlist I had forgotten existed. Milo followed me around like a tiny orange shadow, watching me with gentle curiosity. And when I finally sat down on the couch, he jumped into my lap instantly. I stroked his fur and whispered, "Thank you, Milo." But the journey didn't end there. Life got better for a while. I found a healthier balance. I laughed more. I rested more. Milo continued taking my seat, but now I understood why. Whenever he curled up in my place, I sat beside him instead of moving him. I listened to the silent message he was giving me. You're not alone. Slow down. I'm here. Months passed and our bond grew stronger. Milo became more affectionate, more trusting, more connected. The distance he once kept disappeared completely. He had chosen me, and I finally understood how deeply. But life likes to test us in unexpected ways. One morning, Milo didn't come running for breakfast. He didn't meow. He didn't jump onto the couch. He stayed curled in a corner looking tired and sluggish. My heart dropped. I knew something was wrong. I rushed him to the vet where they explained that he had a treatable condition but needed medication, rest, and close care. For the first time, the roles were reversed. Milo had been my anchor when I was struggling. Now it was my turn to be his. I took days off work. I stayed by his side. I gave him his medicine gently, held him while he slept, and reassured him every step of the way. There was one moment during his recovery that I will never forget. I was sitting on the floor next to him, brushing his fur softly. He looked up at me with tired eyes, then lifted himself just enough to place one paw on my leg. His touch was weak but filled with meaning. It felt like he was saying, "You stayed." "Thank you." Slowly, he regained strength. He began eating normally again. He played with his toys. He chirped when I walked into a room. In one bright sunny afternoon, something miraculous happened. I walked toward the couch to rest for a moment. Before I reached it, Milo darted across the room and jumped into my seat, curling up proudly and looking at me with that familiar expression. I laughed in relief. I held my hand to my heart and whispered, "Welcome back." From that day onward, every time Milo took my seat, I felt grateful. Grateful for the reminder. Grateful for the connection. Grateful for the love that didn't need words to be understood. So what does it mean when your cat takes your seat? It means far more than most people realize. Your cat feels safe with you. Your cat wants to be close to you. Your cat trusts you deeply. Your cat senses your emotions, even the ones you try to hide. Your cat chooses the spot that carries your scent because it represents comfort, reassurance, and love. Sometimes, your cat takes your seat because they feel you need slowing down. They want you to pause. They want you to join them. They want to heal you in the only way they can. Cats speak in silence, in small gestures, in quiet moments. They sit where you sit because that is where their heart feels connected to yours. They do not demand attention. They simply invite you into a moment of peace. So the next time your cat takes your seat, do not think of it as an inconvenience. Think of it as a message, a whisper, a tiny act of devotion, a reminder that you matter more than you realize, even to a creature who never speaks a single human word. Milo taught me that love does not always shout. Sometimes it curls up in your seat and waits for you to understand. Thank you for watching Cat Fact Class. If this story touched your heart, make sure to like the video, comment your own cat experiences, and subscribe for more beautiful and emotional cat stories. Your support helps us share more moments that reveal the hidden language of the cats we love so much. Until next time, give your feline friend an extra gentle pet. They might be trying to tell you something precious.